All right, folks. No idea if anything's working because this has been so long since I tried any of this, but I felt like doing some coding. Calendar gap opened up. Other things are finished. Let's see what we can do. So the project that I was going to update was this one. This is the only NuGet package I actually have that is maintained these days, and it doesn't require much maintenance anymore, but I typically just update it when new versions of .NET come out. And so, as you can see here, it currently says it supports ASP.NET Core. But what were the supported versions the last time I did this, which was a while ago, as you can see. The last thing I did was add a targeting pack so that these would build from a Linux machine. And so we'll have a look at this. Should be fairly straightforward. It shouldn't be that difficult, but you never know what you're going to run into. I haven't even released a 1.0 version of this package. Maybe we'll do that today as well. But I definitely want to update this so that the samples and the website only runs on something supported. So this is the website here, taghelperpack.net. And this basically the sample site is also the project site. I'm lazy. And I think I have this one up running in Azure. It's running on ASP.NET Core 3.1, currently on .NET Core 3.1. By the time we're finished, that should be running on ASP.NET Core 5 on .NET 5. I think it's currently running on Windows, maybe, in production. I don't think this site has all the fancy stuff on it I do on some other ones. But anyway, we'll have a look. We'll find out. And it builds in DevOps somewhere. Let's have a look. So here's my DevOps pipeline for this project. This, again, this was from before. This is fairly old. So this is before GitHub Actions was a thing. And maybe over the next few months, we'll do a few live streams on this as I move this project from its current setup into something a little more, using the latest stuff. So I'll get it running in building in GitHub Actions on a Linux agent, preferably. And then if it's not already running on Linux on Azure, I don't know if it is. Should probably hide those, shouldn't I? Yeah, they're all on. I should make sure it's running on Linux. I have no idea. I can't remember. It's been so long. I guess I would go to... It just says app service. It doesn't say app service for Linux. So I think that's probably why I haven't done it yet. I would need to literally move this to a new app service plan to get this running on Linux in Azure, which is fine. Like, we can do that at some point. But today, at least, let's just get the project itself up and running on .NET 5, and we'll see how we go from there. Before I do anything, I'm going to see if the project just works. As a package, it's already on NuGet. Maybe it already works in a .NET 5 app. A lot of stuff just works, right? So let me find Tag Helper Pack. Yeah, there it is. It's an incredible amount of downloads. Oh, so big. And it targets, what does it target at the moment? NET Core App 2.1, NET Core App 3.0, and .NET Framework 4.6.1. And the multi-targeting is, in this case, required in order to get the best result, simply because it supports sort of this transition across two versions of .NET Core, where we made some fairly major changes with regards to how ASP.NET Core apps work. You can see when it's targeting .NET Core 3, it doesn't reference anything from a package point of view that's ASP.NET Core, because it all comes in via the single framework reference that we introduced in .NET Core 3. None of that will change moving to 5. So in a .NET 5 app, NuGet will just see this targeting here, and it should just do whatever this thing says. So let's find out. I'm going to create a new app. I'll just create a standard new app, and I'll just assume that I'm going to consume this this package in my ASP.NET Core app, and we'll see what happens. It's the first thing I like to do. Let's just see what happens. So I'm going to get an ASP.NET Core app. We won't even need to give it a clever name. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to do .NET 5. I did update my VS. I'm using just retail. I think it's 16.8.1. I think is the latest version. I updated it just before. Everything else is fine. Let's create this, and then I'll install this package, and we'll see what happens. And there's a couple of aspects to figuring out whether, A, it works, and B, whether it's optimal. It may be that the package works in that I can add it, I can use its APIs, I can render stuff in my web app, but perhaps it's not optimal. Perhaps there's some things I could do to the package to improve it for customers using .NET 5. And there's a couple of things I go through usually to figure that out. Or maybe there's new APIs I want to take advantage of. In this case, there isn't. Tag Helper Pack doesn't. There's nothing really in .NET 5 that I'm aware of that I would use. So let's go ahead and add that package. I mean, I could use the NuGet UI, but usually I just double click and I come in here and do it by hand. This has been a while. So I think it's like include, right? It's not name because that would be the logical thing. Tag Helper Pack and version equals whatever version I have up on NuGet. See, this is what I do. I don't use the UI. I do this garbage. I just like literally copy and paste this stuff. There we go. I could have run the CLI, I guess, couldn't I? And this is a pre-release package, but I don't have to worry about that from here because I'm just going to tell it what I want. And if I was being really lazy, I could just put a star in here and it would just, I could just do that or even that. And then NuGet would just pull it in for me, but we'll be specific. So I just saved it, didn't do anything else. And it should restore just as a result of me saving it because VS should auto restore. So we can see that up there. There's my package. It says I've got a compile time assembly of tag helper pack.dll. It sounds right. And it references markdig because I have a markdown tag helper in here. Seems to be working. Shift F6 to see if it builds, or I could Control Shift B to build, or hit a button in the UI. Let's have a look. Build succeeded. Well, that's a good start. Let's see if it runs. I haven't even used it yet, but let's make sure I didn't like break it. Yep, so that's good. Let's use this tag helper, one of the tag helpers. So what have I got? View imports. I have to add tag helpers from here. So I want all the tag helpers from tag helper pack. All right, so that's good. Should be in my section. It auto built for me because I've got it running in the browser already. And so VS is kind enough to do that for me. We'll go to the home page. I don't know. I guess we'll add some Markdown. What do you reckon? Probably the easiest one to show. Markdown. So there you go. Look, showing. Oh, that's interesting. Tim, I know you're watching. I really should open log file, shouldn't I? And we can figure out what remote invocation exception occurred. And I can log that bug. Still unable to load. MEF component. Live share. Ah, well, never mind. F# and live share. Throwing exceptions. It's all right. It's all still working though. Markdown. Oh, you got, is it not gonna auto close? Why is it not auto closing for me? This is where I go and look at my own documentation. How does this work? Markdown. Oh, I'll just copy that. I don't know why the editor. I am previewing the new Razor editor. For those who don't know about this, tools options, preview features would be where I would guess it is. And then if I scroll and I keep staring at the screen, there it is, right at the top. Enable experimental Razor editor. I have that turned on. So the Razor editor is being rewritten. And as Tim says, it's the new LSP based or language service protocol editor. So I have that on. So maybe there's an issue there where it wasn't auto completing. If I do it up here, let's have a look. See, it worked there. So here's my guess. As someone who was an editor PM in a former life, I wonder if it's because I'm at the end of the file. Look at that. When you're at the end of the file, it doesn't autocomplete. If I do it here, well, look, tags seem to autocomplete when I'm not at the end of the file. So I'm assuming it affects all HTML completion, not just tag helpers. If I do a div, oh, actually, I was wrong. It looks like it only affects tag helpers. Well, there you go, Tim. The bug seems to be that tag helper, we should get Taylor in here. He's the dev who works on that. So anyway, it looks like an end of file, the tag helper closing tag autocomplete doesn't work. All right. So I've got some markdown. So if this is working, now that I've saved this, it rebuilds. When I go and look at my site, I shouldn't see markdown source. I should see something formatted. And I do. So the tag helper is working just fine. At least that one is. I mean, I haven't used all of them, but that's where we'll go and use the sample site. So, it works, at least somewhat. Let's publish the site and let's look at the output, because one of the things I always like to verify when moving to a new version as a library author is that if I publish the project, what do I get in the output of the application that's consuming that package? Is there something that changed between .NET Core 3.1 and .NET 5 that my package didn't account for. And so, yes, you can consume the package, but the output of the app isn't optimal. Maybe it's carrying over an assembly from the previous output that didn't before. You've also got to be careful with things like if my project had previously been like my app here had been targeting .NET Core 3.1, I had built it, so there was output, or I had published it to a non-TFM versioned output folder, like your Azure website, and then you updated it to .NET 5 and then published over the top of it, you may end up with assemblies from the old version still in the output, because in the new version you don't have those assemblies, but in the old version you did. And that's been a very common cause of people running into problems the first time they publish their app after they update it to a new version. If you don't tick the box or set the config during deployment that deletes all the files before or as part of the deployment. So these are little things I like to look at whenever I upgrade across a major version, just to be sure. All right. Looks like people are trying to use Twitch features that don't exist in my channel because I'm just a lowly pleb and this is literally my first time using Twitch to do coding. So I think the last time I was fixing my radio control car or driving Forza. So I don't have any of that stuff. I'm sorry. Maybe Jeff can help me set that up at some other point. All right, so let me publish this. I'm just going to do the very, very cheapo version of publishing. I'm just going to publish to a folder locally so I can just eyeball the output. Yep, so we'll do a release publish net 5. That's fine. All good. Let's just do that. And we'll say go. Portable's fine. Portable meaning framework dependent rather than... actually, no. Portable's a bitness rather than... And I want to do framework dependent rather than self-contained. All right, so I have an output. I held down control and click over there. Drag this in here. Let Windows resize all this. This is what the output of my app looks like. So I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to eyeball this and make sure nothing here looks out of the ordinary. So we now get exes by default in .NET Core. That's new at some version. It may have actually been the default in .NET Core 3. I think it was, but it wasn't before that. So I expect to see an exe in my app DLL, my PDB for debugging. I expect to see a web.config because by default, we issue a web.config file because you might be running an IIS. New feature in .NET 5, you can suppress the generation of the web.config file now. I don't know the config off the top of my head. I believe there's a MS build property you can set in your project file, which will prevent the web.config file from being emitted now. We may have even set it such that we don't generate it if you pass us a Linux RID. We may have done that. I guess I could go and try and look, couldn't I? .NET, ASP.NET Core. This is going to give me hell. Is it? Oh, no, it's working. All right, so let's go to issues. Let's see if I can find it. Suppress. I can't spell suppress. Suppress IS. Probably closed. Build warnings, response completion. Extension method, no. Let's have a look. No. This is all too old. That's all last year. Not suppressed. Wrong word. Oops. Maybe web.config. Maybe we'll do a web.config. Because the whole idea is like stop web.config. Let's have a look. There's a web.config. October. I want to say it was like Augusty. Something like that. Warning. Anyone see it there? I might be scrolling right past it. Unclear errors. Blazor WASM. .NET published with a custom ASP in process. Setting max Blazor WebAssembly. I talk about tangent. Blazor WebAssembly. That's way too old. I am not finding this at all. Blazor WebAssembly doesn't include Razor, Windows Auth, ASP.NET, fetching .NET. Surely we had an issue with a reasonable name, so this should just be very easy. I think I even commented on it. That might be easier. Maybe I should just find stuff that I actually commented on this release. .NET 5. Let's have a look. Handling unexpected errors 10 days ago. These are all pretty recent. IIS isn't a very specific search term. There might be quite a few. Was it logged by... It was either logged by Fowler or by me or by Pranav. I can't remember. Let's have a look. Is there a way in this view to filter stuff only to stuff that I've touched? There is, right? Filter GitHub issues to I've touched. Is that how you do it? I'm subscribed to? Maybe? Yeah, things that I've... Because I'll get auto-subscribed, right? Is it like involves me or something? There's like a new... I thought there was like a new thing. I don't see anything there that's screaming out. Let's have a look. Sort. Nope. I reckon it's probably assigned to Pranav. See, I want to try and do this the public way. I could just message these people internally on Teams and figure it out, assuming they're online. Come on. Can I find this issue? The alternative is I look at the docs, right? Do I look at the docs? Yeah, I'm not trying to convert anything to YAML. Dear. Now we're getting way too old again. So maybe it wasn't Pranav. I do wonder. Maybe it was Fowler who created it. Or maybe it was me. I mean, it's incredible. Or maybe I'm in the wrong repo. Because this may have been filed in the SDK repo. Because we move stuff around. Oh, this is too difficult. All right. ASP.NET Core, docs, IS publish, enable, web.config file, enable. Oh, I seem to remember it being enable. All right, I'm going to give this like one more minute. And then I'm just going to search my email. But I won't do that on the stream. I'll just do it on this monitor here to find the example. Because this is someone's blog. Sorry, Mitchell. I don't think that's going to have the thing on it that I want. Does this thing have on it? Install, get started, enable. No! Okay, I'm just going to search my email. This is terrible. I might ask Fowler. What is the... okay, I'm just gonna search. I swear I've got it in email. Enable IS. And I know I was talking to Pranav about it. Oh, here it is. Here it, publish IS assets. Found it. All that. All right. So what's the bet if I search for this? There's nothing in this repo. Oh, there's 1, 2. That doesn't look right. I reckon it's in a different repo. I reckon this work was in a different repo, which is why I couldn't find it. Oh, here's the issue. Look, there it is. I was right. This is what I was trying to find. It's in the SDK repo, not in the ASP.NET Core repo. And support for the publish IS assets flag that will suppress all the stuff. And now Fowler's replying, and I'm saying, never mind, I figured it out. All right. So now you can set disable IIS to true, and that will prevent that web.config file from being produced. So if that is of any use to you at all, you can come back to your project file. You can say, not that. That's a URL, because my brain is such a sieve that I've already forgotten what it was. Publish IIS assets equals false. And then if I publish this again, where's my folder I had open with all, there it is. All right, so here it is. I'm just going to delete it all because I don't trust anything. Let's publish it again and see if this works. Hit publish. We can watch the files appear. Look, no web.config file. It's gone. So you can now turn that off. I know. It's the little things. It's the little things. So if that's always bugged you because you're not a Windows developer, you can now turn it off. I think we default it if you're targeting a Linux red. I mean, I could test that too, right? Let's remove all that. Because now I'm on this tangent. We've got to go all the way. Let's go target runtime. Let's change it to Linux x64. We'll hit save. We'll hit publish. We're going to get some files on my Windows hard drive, but you know, I'm not going to try and run it. I'm just going to show you. Oh, and I need to remove the property, don't I? Otherwise, yeah, of course, it's not going to do it. So let's do that. Let's delete that again. Let's publish it once more. Of course, I could be doing all this in the command line, but I'm in VS already. Oh, that was quick. Did that really just do that quickly? 342, that's right now. Yeah, anyway, so if you publish to Linux or anything non-Windows, you don't get the web.config file anymore. Small wins in a major release. Look at that. All right, that was a huge tangent. I don't even know how we got here. I was trying to look at the output of this project and, no, that's not what I wanted. And just eyeball it. What did it look like? Does it look correct? So let me go back to defaults. I'll publish this one last time. All right, what do we got? Yes, that looks fine. The deps file is required. That contains all the stuff that my app needs to boot. Runtime config.json is the configuration of the core CLR and the core CLR host. These are my Razor views. They still get compiled into separate assembly. If I had single file publish turned on, which I could do now in .NET 5, I guess, they would get included in the application DLL. That's my library, tag-helper-pack.dll. That's the other library that I depend on. And that's it. So this looks pretty good. And then I got my app settings files, obviously, and just my static files. So nothing there looks untoward at all. That's good. All right, first test passed. So let's go back now and we'll actually update my actual project. I have a sample project here, which inside the solution for my library, which multi-targets, lots of different frameworks. So I can check that stuff works properly everywhere. So currently, what does it say? I target minimum supported versions here, despite the package targeting lower in some cases. So that raises an interesting discussion point about what library authors should target versus what an app developer might target, and then how the compatibility between what the library author targets and what the app developer is targeting works. So you can see my app is targeting Netcore App 3.1 because that was the latest app version within the three, major version train at the time I updated this. But my library, at the time, today, still targeted Netcore App 3.0. I don't have to change that. Like, I could just leave that. Net 3.0 is not supported anymore, but it works on 3.1, which is supported. But you can see right now that the SDK now warns you if you target unsupported TFMs, which is a good thing. In fact, I was one of the ones who advocated for that, to try and encourage people to stay on the supported versions of the runtime. One of the bits of feedback that I've seen, though, is that perhaps this is a little aggressive for libraries. Maybe class libraries and packages shouldn't give you this recommendation, because then they're consumable for more things by default. This is my library, so I am perfectly happy saying, no, you have to target a supported version, but I don't need to target .NET 5. The reason, again, that I target these two versions instead of just targeting 2.1 and then having 2.1, the 2.1 library or package load into a 3.1 and a 5 app, is because between 2.1 and 3.1, ASP.NET Core fundamentally changed how we composed all of its stuff into a project. And you can see that down here. So you can see down here where I declare my dependencies. If the target framework is not 3.0, which of course I have to change now because I just moved it to 3.1, then I pull in this package. This package doesn't exist beyond this version. This version, this Razor package, this MVC Razor package is now in a framework reference. You can see this down here, right? Framework reference. This is a thing we introduced in .NET Core 3. And that doesn't appear as a dependency on the package. It just gets embedded as metadata in the package so that when I consume this in the application, NuGet knows, oh, okay, this application requires a framework reference, which is only a .NET Core thing. In order for it to work, it needs to reference this shared framework called ASP.NET Core.app. So, no, I've never done C++. Never, at all. Not even a Hello World. In fact, I don't think I've even installed the tools. I could probably read it and basically understand what it was trying to do, but I haven't even ever used a non-managed memory platform, really, ever. In my 20-odd years of programming, I've always done web stuff and database stuff. And so I was always coding within the environment of something that was, or .NET, .NET framework. So I was always coding in the context of something that did memory management for me. So it'd be interesting. That would be a fun stream to watch. It's me trying to do something like that. All right. So where was I? Yeah, so I multi-target between 2.1 and 3.0 because I want this tag helper package to work in all supported versions of ASP.NET Core, which today still includes .NET Core 2.1, sorry. And so I need to reference ASP.NET Core differently depending on whether it's in a 2.1 project or a 3.1 project. But the stuff for 3.0/3.1 works just fine in .NET 5, as we just saw. So let me just go and update these. I don't want to target 3.0 anymore. If you're using 3.0, you should update. It's as simple as that. You need to update. And so I'm not going to bother supporting you anymore or making this package work for you. All right. So if it's not 3.1, we're going to reference this package. The lowest version of it, the app will be the thing that updates that to whatever the latest patch version is. If it is Netcore App 3.1, I'm going to reference the framework, ASP.NET Core framework. And if it's Net 4.6.1, then I'm going to bring in the .NET Framework reference assemblies. Why am I separately targeting .NET Framework? Well, because ASP.NET Core 2.1 works and is supported on .NET Framework, and it pretty much will do forever. We have just left that support open indefinitely as a stepping stone for people who are migrating from classic ASP.NET to ASP.NET Core. One of the paths for doing that migration can be running ASP.NET Core on top of .NET Framework. I don't know how longer that's going to be useful for, but it's there today. Like I said, it's going to be supported for as far as we can see. Like at the moment, we're committed to supporting it for as long as .NET Framework is supported, which isn't as long as Windows is supported or has .NET Framework in it. So that's a very, very long time. And so it doesn't cost me anything in this package. Other packages, other libraries, it might be a lot more work to support .NET Framework. I don't even have any tests. So yeah, this isn't an expensive thing for me. So I target it separately, because again, it results in a better output. It's a better consumption experience for the developer when they pull this package into their project, and it's a better publish experience on the output rather than relying on .NET Framework's net standard support, which is a little dodgy. I just target it explicitly. All right, so that's my package. Let's go to the sample though, and let's update the sample now to also support Net 5. All right, so this is the app now. All right, this is the sample app that's in this solution over here, and this is the thing that uses my tag helpers, and this is my tests and my site. Right, I am super lazy, so this is how I do that. So it targets 2.1, 3.1, 5.0, and 4.6.1, and then on the CI server, I publish this site for all 4 TFMs, which I'm going to have to update because it used to be 3 and now it's 4. And that is my tests. As long as it publishes successfully, I consider it passing. That's as good enough for me. And then when I deploy the website to Azure, I typically do it for whatever the latest .NET Core based one is, which today was 3.1, so I'm going to have to update the deployment pipeline to use 5.0. So we'll do that as well. All right, so very similar thing here on the application side. Because I'm multi-targeting, I have to change how I'm referencing things. In 2.1, it was a package reference to get ASP.NET Core. In 3.1 or 3.0 and above, you just get that by default because we're using the Web SDK. And so then I brought in dependency model instead. I can't even remember why I have to bring that in. It's probably a Razor thing. And then if it's .NET Framework I'm running on, then I have to bring in a whole buttload of stuff. And as I said, it's limited to 2.1, right? We don't support ASP.NET Core 3 or above on .NET Framework. And then I'm just referencing my tag helper pack as a project. So I'm getting a whole bunch of errors here. This is interesting, or warnings, I should say. And this looks like it's going to be because of pound defines or compiler preprocessor things I'm doing as part of my multi-targeting. So if I double click on this, you can see here back in this is my application. I'm in tag helper sample startup. I'm in the startup class of my application. I have a few of these pound defines, these compiler directives, #if netcore app 3_1. Now, this is because I'm multi-targeting, and we changed again. It was a fairly large set of changes between ASP.NET Core 2 and ASP.NET Core 3. It's probably the last time we'll make changes of that magnitude, honestly, where we actually broke things or we deprecated things and introduced new ways of doing it, and you really had to change the code. So because this app has to run on multiple TFMs because it's my sample app, I have to do these pound defines in order to, or if defs, in order to have it work idiomatically across those versions. So now I have to do, is in Netcore App 3.1, or if it's Net 5.0, I guess it's going to be. I guess I'm just guessing. There isn't statement completion, I believe, for compiler directives. I got the tooling people on the chat, so like maybe they'll tell me if I'm wrong. So I'll have to specify both. I have to be explicit. All right, so I'm going to scroll down and find that one, if it's Netcore app, or it's Net50, or it's Net50, or it's Net50. And at this point, I'm sure some of you are going, man, that is like super tedious. Why do you have to do that over and over? Now, I am currently, let me pick Net50, and we'll see if that block lights up. It doesn't. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe that's the wrong. Maybe it's Net5. Oh, look, see? All right, so instead of, that's what I should be doing. If it's a period in between the numbers, it gets replaced with an underscore. So I did that wrong. It's supposed to be Net5_0. Note how that light lit up? See how I did that? So if I put it back to what it was, that went gray. The editor told me, yeah, that code doesn't apply in the current context. This multi-targeting dropdown, I remember when we built this as part of DNX. Before that, the C# experience in Visual Studio had no concept of doing this. This type of stuff only applied when you changed configuration up here. So we changed this when we added support for multi-targeting as part of DNX, and which turned into .NET Core. So I still think this is a bit clunky. Honestly, I think we could do better, but you know, it's what we have right now. Net50, so I need to change these. These should all have an underscore in them. It'd be nice if there was autocomplete for this. Like if I started typing net, so it has net, is that just based on what it's just based on what I typed. It'd be nice if it knew what was defined as part of, you know, the SDK, and it would give me some type of statement completion for that. But I don't know if there's anyone watching who would think that. So someone points out, Stuart points out, yeah, wouldn't it be great if there was another one called like Netcore at 3.1 or greater? So does that exist yet? I know that there is a proposal to add like the or greater pound defined directive, but I honestly haven't read it. I know Emo's written it. I think it was Emo. There it is. Thanks, Tim. So there's this proposal that's out right now. Or greater preprocessor, with the idea being that instead of doing what I just did, you could say, you know what? Let's just say I want like a min version, right? So it looks like there's a proposal for that. What does it look like? So in the future, you'd be able to do this, right? Net50 or greater. So it looks like it's not there today, but it might be there in the future. You could do something like that if Net50 or greater. It's coming, all right? So cool. Look for that in a future release. Are we proposing this for a future SDK version release, like a 50200 or a 50300, or is this a .NET 6 proposal? Emo? It says for .NET 6. Oh, come on, let's be more aggressive. SDK servicing. So Tim says for SDK servicing. So this is a lie. We'll actually get this sooner than .NET 6 if Tim is correct, and Tim owns the SDK. So I'm gonna believe Tim. All right, and I'm gonna keep calling him a liar. All right, so let's go back to wherever that code. Oh, my warnings are gone. Hang on, is that the right? Did I do that? I did. I fixed it all. So all my warnings are gone. Let me build it again. Build started. Took a while. Why did that take so long? Oh, there we go. It says it's obsolete, so I didn't fix them all. Ooh, now I've got an error. Interesting. Interesting. So I got a whole bunch more here. Okay. Net5_0. Of course, I could just do a find and replace across my entire project, but you know, I'm not an engineer by trade anymore, and you wouldn't get to see all the scenarios here. Let me save that. See if any of this goes away thanks to the design time build. It's still complaining at me. Let's have a look. I get the sense this is in the wrong context. What if I change this to here? Is that going to go? Yeah, see, look. Is that a bug? That doesn't look right. Oh, wait a second. Look at this. Where is it? Wrong project. Yeah, look. So I do need this. So I need to update this conditional NuGet dependency. I frankly can't remember why I need this. I guess I could just look at the code that was failing. So why do I need this? What doesn't it like? Is there anything down here? What uses dependency? Dependency context. Okay. So I'm using dependency context to figure out Okay. So it's part of my logic that I use to print the text about what version of ASP.NET Core and .NET Core I'm running on. Now, there is a new way to do this that was introduced in .NET Core 3, I believe. We updated, maybe it was 5. I think we updated the runtime information version descriptions, which is a first-class API in .NET, to kind of say the right thing and have the right versions. But that doesn't help you for ASP.NET Core. And this site still works on .NET Framework, so I need it to work there as well. So I use dependency context for that scenario. But I'm only using this if it's not Net 461. So my question is, there might be a better way for me to do this. There might be a better way for me to do this in .NET 5. But for now, I'm just going to cheat and get this thing building, and we can always look at that later. So, okay, if target framework is equal to that, and of course, this is MS build, so this is just all, oh, actually, I don't know how to do this. I don't think I've ever had to do an OR in here. Someone will tell me very quickly if this is wrong or right. Well, VS will tell me very quickly if it's wrong or right, won't it? I'm guessing it's that, but I could be wrong. Let's find out. I mean, nothing's liking me so far. Now I have to force it to reevaluate the restore because I don't. VS is not going to pick up that this requires an auto restore. It's not that clever. So I'm going to have to force a package restore as my guess to see if this works. And even then, I don't have high confidence. Or this could be wrong, right? This could just be totally wrong. Let's have to find out. It doesn't look like it worked. Everything still looks very angry, doesn't it? Okay. Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. Idiot. Didn't have to do that there because that's in the library, not in the app. That was the wrong one. I meant to do it in this one. Ha ha! Let's try that again. All right. Save. See if anything changes. Whoa! Okay. Doesn't like that. So something tells me that's... Oh, no, I've got quotes missing all over the place. Let's try that. Now I'm going to have to reload it because it's really angry with me. I added it back. And I've got the little triangle of death. Let's force a restore, see what happens. I'm going to try all the non-nuclear options first, including searching the docs. All right, so it's still broken. It still doesn't like me. It says there's an error here, right? Okay, but there's no warnings in here to do with that warning in my dependency tree. These are all to do with the code. Let's go back here. Yeah, this is another example. So that should be or net 5.0. Let's at least fix the things that we can, I guess. Design time build going to update? No, it still doesn't like me. Oh, because I'm in that. Oh, wow. I really broke it. Look at that. Nope, wrong one. That's in the library. I'm getting myself super confused because I've got the site that's targeting 5, but the package is not. And so I didn't fix all the things in the package first. Now I have done that, so I can get out of there. Okay, now we're back to the same error. Okay, good. So I'm still, let's close that one. I'm still trying to figure out the correct way to do this. Yeah, so everyone's like, close and reopen the solution. I was trying to avoid those things first, but I think the reality is this scenario still breaks VS today. Imo, we're going to fix that, right? Right? And Brad makes the really good point that if I'm on net 50, I might actually want a completely different condition. So I'm going to just do that right now. And there are multiple ways you could define these different dependencies. I could make a variable and then use the variable in the version and blah, 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 blah. But for the sake of clarity, let's try that. Wow. Okay. And I obviously missed a quote again. Gee, I really suck at hand editing my MS build. Okay, let's reload those. Load failed. Oh no. All right, what did I miss? There it is. Okay. Sometimes you just need to stare at it longer. No, still broke it. All right. Missing double quote in 17. I just fixed that one, right? No, I've got to, oh. 13. Wow. It's when I did that copy and paste of that line. Probably won't let me read. There we go. There we go. We got there. Okay. VS is still angry, and I'm going to assume that I'm going to have to close and reopen the solution. It's so sad. We're going to fix that, right? Oh, no, look. I spoke too soon. It fixed itself. All right, so we got no errors. Let me force a build. Control-Shift-B. Boop, 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 boop. 2 succeeded. All right, let's run the sample site. Why is my... That's not what I want. I want to start that. Okay. And sure, we'll start it on iOS Express. We're going to start it on .NET 5. Now, again, multi-targeted. If you've never multi-targeted an app before, at least for web apps, the launch behavior in VS will give you the option to choose which framework you want to launch it on. It might do that for other apps like WinForms. I don't know. I've never tried it, but it certainly does it for web. So I'm going to hit .NET 5, and then I'm going to Control F5 because who starts under the debugger? I don't, unless I need to debug some startup code, but that's very rare. All right, what do we got? So it's working, and look, this site running on ASP.NET Core 5.0 on .NET 5.0. Good start. Did anything break? First thing I do is I hit F12 and I just check there's no console errors because who knows? I just always do that because it's so easy to forget to check if anything on the client side broke. So I just tend to do it first. All right, there's no errors there. Now I'm going to test the functionality of all this stuff. What do we got? I don't know what this is supposed to do. Let's have a look. So this is field templates and data annotation to render a model for the blah, blah, blah. So this all worked. Otherwise, I wouldn't be seeing anything here because this example, this is the source for this example here. It wouldn't do anything. Like this is, you know, ASP display for is literally what what this tag helper is that we're trying out. And it's saying display for ID. It just wouldn't work. Like that wouldn't be read only. Otherwise, it just wouldn't work. All right. So that is doing the right thing. What else we got? Editor 4. So it's rendering editors. So that's obviously all working. What do we got? Editor for first name. Oh, that indentation looks wrong, doesn't it? That's interesting. Why did that stop being indented? Let's go have a look. I mean, I can't believe that I broke that just now, unless we changed something to do with Razor whitespace preservation in .NET 5. Is anyone on the call that worked on Razor whitespace preservation in the compiler in .NET 5? Safia or Pranav or Steve? I wonder. Let's have a look. So here's my page. Let me go full screen here. So editor 4. So here it is. Look, you can see the white space here is correct. Oh, that's the actual source. not the fake source. Oh, this is all manual, by the way. I know this is horrific. I probably should do something a lot more clever where like this is in a partial, which I then load as a partial here and then read the source of the partial during build or deploy them with the website or something so that I don't have to do this garbage where I literally duplicate it. But this lets me hand code and, you know, hand indent and everything. So, you know, what are you going to do? Did you just call this Twitch streamer call? I don't know. Did I just call this Twitch or did someone else do that? There may have been changes in whitespace preservation for Blazor. Maybe it's affecting tag helpers as well as components. Possibly, but again, just to be clear, this, I'm actually lying a bit because what I was looking at was this is actually in a pre-tag, right? As it is here. And there's nothing to do with tag helpers in here, right? This is all fully escaped. This is just literal text. And so this is probably my mistake. Let's have a look. So where is it? Editor 4 is right here. It does indeed just look like it's wrong. That should be an extra 4. I can't believe I've never noticed that before. These are the things that you do when you do stuff on a live call. Let me F5. Why didn't that rebuild? Why didn't that rebuild? Shouldn't that rebuild for me? I would expect VS to rebuild that when I change a CSHTML file, but it didn't look like it did. So I'm going to just do it manually, which means I'm going to have to relaunch it. All right. Okay, there we go. Now it's indented the way I expect. Very good. All right, so editor for editor last name, editor birth date, that all seems to be working. And what's this last one? Display for. Yep, so that's giving me the correct display format. So these the first set of tag helpers here, where these don't ship in the box. These are literally what's in my package. We've got an editor tag helper. We've got the display name and display for tag helpers in here as well, and they use the model metadata information to format stuff and to render the UI that you want based on MVC's. What do they call those? Control templates? No, not controls. That wouldn't be it. Field templates? Maybe that was the name. I can't remember. If Phil was on the call, he would tell me what the name was. I've forgotten. All right, so that works. Let's scroll down. What else? Markdown we saw already works. That's working fine. Script inlining. Use script source ASP inline true to inline the contents of the referenced JavaScript file in the element body. All right, so apparently in the source, let's have a look. ASP-inline, that's not the real source. This is the real source. I reference a site.js. I say to inline it. And then in the block immediately after that, what do I do? Document.getElement by ID JS greeting. Append, wait, what's in that? I can't even remember how all this stuff works. Then I create a text node, and I create a text node. Oh, get greeting. So that's the method. That method there only exists in this file. So if this didn't work, this call would fail. So it was good that I checked the client console for errors, because if there'd been a JavaScript error, that would have meant this failed. Obviously, the other thing I can check is the source. And we should see that there's no script tag that is referencing a file. It should be, there you go, it's embedded now, see? So this JavaScript here is actually from an external file, and it got embedded by the tag helper. Wonderful. And just to prove that, where's that file? There it is, get greeting. Hello, name from JavaScript. So advanced. All right, what else? Auth-z tag helper. Okay, so this is a tag helper that you can use to do, it's similar to the authorization component in Blazor. All right, so you can use it to do parts of your UI that should only show up for certain users if they're logged in or if they have a certain policy. So I've got some fake authentication in this application. It's query string authentication, just so you can test that this works. So this will only render when the user is not authenticated. So far, so good. Login as the standard user. So you can see I logged in as the standard user by doing that. I don't know if Zoom works. Does Zoom work? Oh, it does kind of work. Maybe, I don't know. Doesn't really work. All right, auth equals std up there. And if I scroll down, where is it? Oh, look, this will only render if the user is authenticated. So that worked. If I hit log out, scroll back down again. I really should put a fragment in there so I don't have to scroll down every time you click it, hey? Login as an admin user, auth equals admin, super secure. Then I should only see something I'm assuming that is for admin users. This will only render if you're authenticated, and this will only render if you're authenticated and you're authorized by the admin policy. So that seems to be working. Excellent. And that's what that looks like. Simple as that. You can say, hey, I want this to be used if you're authenticated. I want this to only show if you're not authenticated. And I want this to show if you're authenticated with a specific policy, right? Or authorized. All right, what's this one? ASP if, beautiful. So instead of using an if block, you can just say ASP if. I think Angular had an if directive eons ago, which I stole this from. All right, so that seems to be working. It says this will only render during even minutes. Is it an odd minute now? No, it's still 4:10. So I'd have to wait. What's the clock saying? Oh, 4:11. So if I hit refresh now, look at that. Now it's odd. Perfect. So you can just pass your predicate in there as an expression and it'll just render. And then I've only got one left. That's it. They all seem to work. All seem to work just fine. Excellent. So that hopefully is all that's required to get this thing working. What I want to do now is update this text. It says supported on 2.1.2.2.3.0.3.1. That's stinky. We need to update that to be current. Get out of here with your unsupported versions. We don't support those anymore. So we support 2.1, 3.1, and 5.0. ASP.NET Core 2.1, 3.1, and 5.0. And this site is running on ASP.NET Core version .current version. Beautiful. Someone asked, is there a tag helper for conditionally applying a style? I don't know what you mean. I mean, not specifically. That seems to be the, what would you do, Imo? So like, do you mean like class equals type stuff? Or do you mean like literally, God forbid, inline styles like this? Maybe we'll do a stream where we write one and I can build one for you. What do you want it to do? It's class. So no, but maybe we could like, you want like a class if type thing. Like we could make that. Like that wouldn't be hard at all. It all depends on how you want it to look from the consumer's point of view. Little known fact, or maybe it is known, the class attribute in Razor is special already. It already has special semantics that other attributes don't, such that if the expression you pass it evaluates to null, it'll actually remove the attribute for you. Now, I know what you're saying though. You want to do something like if a model property is some Boolean model property is true or false, you want to do one class versus another, or have a class versus not. So there isn't a specific tag helper for it because I think the idiomatic way to do that today is with an inline expression using a ternary operator. So that's typically how you would do that. So, as an example, you would do like true, and you would have to put this in a Razor delimited expression like thus, I believe, although it hates me because I haven't finished it yet. So, you do something like, oh, it's really fighting me. Class 1 or, class 2. And that works, right? That just works. Yeah, okay, it is ugly. So let's figure out, do I even need the parentheses? Or is I think I do. The parser can't determine otherwise. Okay, so yeah, that is kind of bogus. The other thing you would typically do is either have it or not. So you would do, well, what if it's empty, right? That still works. So if this were false, my understanding is that will actually remove the class, but you're saying this is ugly. Okay. We'd have to look at what you want from a consumption point of view, right? So I guess the idea would be, would you want to do something like, class if? The problem is, and I know Nick's on the stream here, and I know that the Stack Overflow folks use a lot of, in fact, we built a specific Razor feature for them in the last version, that you can now have local Razor functions in Razor views in a code block, or a functions block, I should say. And then, null, thank you. Not empty string. And that will suppress the rendering of the class attribute completely. So you can actually just like have little fragments of Razor that you call from within just this one file, and like with arguments and all types of wonderful logic, and it's fully async and all the goodness. So, okay, Imo's saying class foo. Oh, okay. Okay, so that you can't do, but you could do this. That's a good point. So you can't do class name if, because there's no tag helper construct to capture this part as the variable. But there is one to catch the suffix as the variable, all right? So you can absolutely do class if, my class name, and then you can say, put an expression in here. You could say like at model dot conditional property thing, right? Whatever it is, right? Bool. That is really easy to do, actually. So how about Imo? Let's set up a time, maybe next week or maybe tomorrow. I don't know. My calendar's pretty light this week. And maybe we could build that and we'll add it to the library. Yeah? Because that's actually that was one of the scenarios that I specifically designed the Tag Helper API to support all the way back in ASP.NET Core 1.0. Was this idea of free-form entry of a value through the attribute name. The ones that you would probably use the most for that today, if you don't realize that already, is the route tag helper. So if I go to my form, I think I have a form in here. Yeah. So you can do this, right? ASP-route, right? And see this? See how it says route dash dot dot dot? The dot 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 means you can put whatever parameter makes you feel good right there, right? So you can say dash my param name, and then you give it the value, right? Either a literal or an expression, like a code expression, whatever. And then this becomes the key, and that becomes the value, right? So that is a construct that tag helpers are already able to utilize as an author of a tag helper, that you can build an API like that. So we'll do that, Imo. We'll do that in the next, let's log an issue. God, otherwise I'll forget, because I'm totally terrible at this. Let's go to here. Let's create an issue. We've got our first feature request. Look at this. Create a tag helper to make adding a CSS class to an element to make adding conditionally prettier. There you go. Something like this. Let's put our spec in. We want it to look like H1, and we want it to look something like class if, and then we do like class name, and we'll say like model some bull expression here. All right, something like that. How's that, Imo? Good. It's a little bit of a lag, but you know, that works. All right, we'll do that. And while I'm here, because I can't avoid it, some things to consider because my brain's already going. We'll need to consider a translation of casing from attribute name to class name. For example, Pascal, should be camel case to probably, I don't know, kebab case. We'll have to figure out what we want for class name, something like that. Because, you know, this is going to be the class name. So either will, and you can only do one casing. You can do Pascal casing, I guess, but CSS class names are case sensitive, if I recall. But you certainly can't put a dash. Okay, actually, this may be very much simpler than I remember. Anyway, we'll try that. What else? Multiple uses on same tag helper. You know, that is composition of multiple class name values into single attribute value output. Because you can't say class equals blah, class equals foo. You have to say class equals foo space bar. But maybe we don't want that use case. Maybe we just say, now you have to put it all in one expression. I don't know. We'll try around with this stuff. What else? Anything else to consider? I don't know. I don't know if the name is right. Class if, maybe is a better name. Class if is probably fine. Oh, well, yeah, well, we'll see. So someone's saying a condition between two classes would add how to handle underscores and dashes. Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly what I'm talking about here. Underscores, you know, versus dashes in class names. People use different conventions for their CSS class names, so I'd want to make sure maybe it's a global option. So tag helpers also support the idea of, God, it's been so long since I've used it. Tag helpers themselves can register special options types that would let you globally set the what you want the case convention to be. And then you can override it at the invocation level, right? So you could put a thing on here that would change what that option was for this call site, I think. I can't remember. I have to go back and read the docs or read the source. But we designed all this stuff like 5 years ago. And a lot of it's very not used a lot. But I designed a whole bunch of stuff up front trying to consider all these type of things. Because I wanted tag helpers to be very expressive, like HTML is expressive. I really wanted to make tag helpers be like HTML rather than like XML components, which is what Blazor components are like. Blazor components are much more like XML, you know, strong XML components like XAML or even XHTML, you know, strict. Whereas I wanted this to be more HTML, more fluid. You could really express things a little bit more dynamically. And it's not that Blazor can't do those things. They absolutely could. And they do support some things like that. Don't get me wrong. But it's not kind of the same. It's not really the same way. HTML tag helpers aren't like invoking a component and just having it say render. Tag helpers are designed to augment the element they're running on. And they're also designed to work in conjunction together. You can put two totally different tag helpers on the same element. Whereas a Blazor component or a web forms, control or a XAML control, you typically just invoke the control or the component. Like the element name maps to a specific component, right? It is type safe. Blazor is type safe. Blazor components are type safe. Tag helpers are not, right? It is a compiler magic trick that sort of weaves them all together. And then at runtime, as the HTML is rendering forward only, the tag helpers get to run in order. All right, so it's a little more complicated, but it means it's more expressive. So anyway, just talked enough about that. Done. We've logged it, Imo. We'll do that next time. Right, where do we get to? This is all working. I wanted to update my README, which I did. Let's go back and look at the sample and make sure, where is the one that's on running locally? There it is. Is that running? Still going? Still going. All right. ASP.NET Core running on 5, on .NET 5. Awesome, awesome, awesome. 2.1. Oh, I thought I updated that. I didn't. I thought I did. Did I not hit save? 2.1, 3.1. I think this is the same problem. VS is not building when CSHTML files change. Tim, if you're still watching the stream, I changed my CSHTML file. It should be rebuilding that. If I go back, will that automatically... There we go. See, it's working now. So if I change this... Dang it. That looks like it's broken. Okay. It's supposed to work. It may be because I'm multi-targeting. Maybe something gets broken when the site multi-targets and it doesn't work for multi-targeted apps. It seems to be working for the code though. If I add a comment here, does it rebuild? Yeah, see, it rebuilt for the code, but it's not doing it for Razor. Still could be multi-targeting. The Razor compiler is a separate tool. It has its own multi-targeting concerns. It could just be a bug with that. And I should make a note to go and check that, shouldn't I? All right, that's fine. These are all the types of things that we want to prove. Okay, set of useful, blah, 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 blah. I guess the next thing is just to like commit this and see if my build works. Yeah? So let's open up GitHub for Windows. Everyone's using GitHub Desktop, right? This is the real name of this thing. I shouldn't have called it GitHub for Windows. What do we do? Yes, we did that. Yes, we did that. Yes. That. That's a very interesting way of visualizing that change. But sure, I guess it doesn't semantically know the difference. Okay. That's, yep, because I changed it to be 3.1 instead of 3.0, and that's the same thing. Okay. Updated for .NET 5.0. Let's just commit that. I didn't do it in a branch because, you know, it's just me. No one else works on this. It's just me. I don't care. I planned on pushing it to master. I should change the branch name from master to main as well. Can I just do that in here now? Wouldn't that be great? Can I just like click a button? Brendan, if you ever see this, I want a button in here that lets me convert my current use of master to main. That would be cool. All right, let's go back and look at my pipeline. Is it going to run? Ooh, that failed really quickly. So here's the guess about why it failed. I haven't updated the pipeline to use the new SDK. It currently is probably hard-coded to use 3 point, whatever, and now I'm targeting 5.0. It's going to fail very, very quickly. So let's go and edit that pipeline. Ah, what? Go away. Why would it be asking me to sign in? I literally... All right. That was great. Okay. I don't know what that was. Is that... I wonder if that's yet another example of the tweet I had this morning. Where when you leave things open and there's spars, and then your credentials time out, like they just start failing in the most bizarre ways, because I've yet to come across a spar app that flawlessly handles when your credentials expire and like just does the right thing seamlessly. Anyway, let's go to the pipeline and see if I can get it to open this time. Oh, look, it's magic. All right, we'll edit that. Oh yeah, so Nick's saying here, I could have enabled Razor runtime compilation in the sample project, and then I wouldn't have to worry about VS rebuilding it, because it would actually be my app would rebuild, detect the change to the CSHTML file and rebuild it. I probably could enable that. The truth is, the Razor runtime compilation didn't exist in its current form when I built this library, and I've never gotten around to adding it. And given I only ever seem to update it every 9 months, it doesn't matter. But now I'm going to be building features for IMO. Maybe I will. All right, so this agent is hella old. This script, I should say. This is the old one. This is using the old format, not the new YAML format. So that's another task. I probably already got that task logged. I need to convert this to use, like move CI definition to YAML. There's another stream. I need to do that one day. Except I'll probably move it to GitHub Actions rather than keep it in here. I'll just move it straight over to Actions. Yeah, as Imo just said. All right, so let's go. I need this to now use the .NET SDK 5.x, and I'm going to make this be 5.0.x. So for whatever reason, to float an SDK version in GitHub Actions or ASDO, you have to use an X. Don't use a star because it won't work. All right, you have to use an X. In NuGet, you use a star to float. That means get me the latest for this segment. For these tasks, you have to use an X. If you click on the little I, it tells you that, right? So it is docked, but it won't fail in a way that suggests that, especially like look at this, 2-point star up here, .x down here. Could we improve that? Probably. We should probably improve that. I don't want to use a global JSON. Also, because I'm using this task, I personally like doing this. It means I don't have to worry about what version is on the agent. I'm not using anything advanced. I don't need other SDKs. I don't need whatever comes on the agents, global MS build or whatever. I'm just using the .NET SDK because my library is very simple. And so it's pretty straightforward for me. Others I know need the stuff that comes in the end, then might need Visual Studio to build their library because they're using more advanced features. They might need the Windows SDK because they're building UWP or WinUI or something like that, or Xamarin stuff, right? I don't have any of that requirement, so I'm just use the .NET SDK and everything becomes a lot simpler for me. I am not going to use I'm not going to change anything else for this. All right, so I also need to remember I said that I rely on my publishers to be my tests. So I need to make sure that the last thing I publish is the thing that I want deployed to Azure, because that's how this works. I think these all publish to the same output. Actually, I'm lying. I think it's how it used to work, and then I fixed it. You'll note that between these, this one I specify the output to the build artifact staging directory, but to these ones I don't. So it's not the last one. It's the one that has the output specified to go to the right place. So this one I'm going to, can I like duplicate this? Is there like a way to, clone. Perfect. So I'm going to change this one to not output it to that location because I'm going to deploy the .NET 5 version. And I'm going to rename this one, publish the net 5.0, publish. I'm going to change the framework to net 5.0. Config will be whatever I've set, release. Output is blah. I don't need to build it because it already got built up here. So why make my CI slower? So this is the other thing I do is that I like to put all of my CI steps as like discrete steps so that if it fails at restore, it's very easy for me to look at the build and go, oh, look, it failed at restore because it failed at the restore step. I don't have to look at the logs for one, build or publish command, which does an implicit restore and an implicit build to figure out where it failed. I can just see it failed at the restore step. And then what I do is in the subsequent steps that rely on restore or would do them implicitly otherwise, I just turn it off. So the restore completes, goodness, it goes to build. Then I tell build, don't do a restore because you already did it, right? You don't have to do it again. And then the same thing for for publish, I don't build it because the build's going to do it for me because I haven't told it what framework to build for. I've just said build it all. So don't bother restoring. Restore is going to restore for all frameworks because I didn't pass a runtime or a framework ID. So yep. So 461, Net Core App 2.1, Net Core App 3.1, and Net 50. I shouldn't say 50. Net 5.0. No build, out of pack. Okay, good. And then what does pack do? Oh, that packs my library. Of course. Oh, I didn't increment the version. I should probably update the version, shouldn't I? Again, I'm not doing best practice here. This is manual. Someday I will set up version management. There are a couple different ways and solutions for that. I have not done that. So let me go to I'm going to increment it to 6 because that seems like a reasonable time to increment it to 6 when I update to .NET 5. Increment version, increment. Oh my goodness. Sometimes this keyboard gets in a mode where I get 2 hits and I don't know what it is. Increment version to 0.6.0. Imo, after we build your library, how about, or your tag helper, how about we cut a 1.0 of this library? Because I've never done it. Let's do that. Let's commit that. We'll push that up. I should probably save the, I probably should have saved this first, right? Quick, can I be quick enough? Where's the save button? Where's this? Oh, there it is. I don't want to, I just want to save it. I don't want to queue it. Save. Save. All right. I didn't even check what type of, still on VS 2019. Good. All right, so that doesn't change. So pack, blah, blah, blah. See, I'm passing into the pat command source revision ID. If you do that, then the .NET SDK will automatically, that's the GitHub commit, the git commit, sorry. It's exposed in ASDO with this build variable. If you pass that in to the .NET SDK's build or publish commands, or pat commands in this case, it will embed the git char, or whatever you pass there as a value, inside the assembly information and the package info, right? Source revision ID. It's just built in. You don't have to do anything. You just pass it in, it'll do it for you, okay? So I do that. Build number, that is also supported by default if you set up your package project version properties sufficiently. And so I think that's how I did it. Let's have a look. Yeah, so I set version prefix rather than version. And then I set version suffix. Oh, there you go. So that's me. So, okay, so I did this. If the build number is present, then I say it's, if the build number is not present, I have a version suffix of pre. If it is present, because it's not equal to nothing, which it is in the case of the CI build, then I say pre-build number. And then that's what gets published to NuGet. Which I think actually, the way I set this up, again, it's been a long time since I did this. I think what I did, still failed. Let's have a look. I think what I did is that I have it published to the artifacts here, and then I promote it from artifacts to NuGet manually. Again, this is super old. There's probably a better way. The pipeline is not valid. Could not get the latest source version for blah, blah, blah. Bad credentials. Huh. Didn't that just, hang on, that's probably what happened before, and I just assume it failed for some other reason. Look at this, you ready? Bad credentials. I need to refresh my credentials. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna just take a complete guess as to where that is. So if I go edit, where are the, I think the credentials are stored in my organization, aren't they? And you refer to them. So there's my sources. Aha. Yeah, it doesn't like that. All right. Yeah, there it is. So I need to change, I need to fix this. Okay. So I need to go to there. All right. Okay. There's nothing here that tells me it's broken, but it doesn't like it. Auth method, grant auth. I guess I'll just do this again. Sure. Authorize. Oh, this is interesting. I don't want it to have access to the Microsoft org. I just want it to have access to mine. Can I turn that off? Oh, whoops. Oh, okay. It's not going to do that. So I should just say continue. Ah, interesting. Did that make that work? So what's happened since I set all this up, Microsoft changed the requirements for our repos such that to access our repositories, Microsoft-owned repositories on GitHub, using my GitHub ID, I have to authorize with Microsoft's AAD. Totally makes sense, right? Which probably meant that that change at some point expired these credentials. And that's why it was prompting for that. But I don't want to give them access. So as someone just said, don't click the button and just hit go and it should refresh it. So I think that's it. If I just go back now and I run it again. Run. Sure. Please work. It's now running. I think. There you go. Oh, that means that it was able to get the commit, right? Otherwise, it wouldn't know what it was called. So it must have got past the auth stage. Imo says, you're still on ASDO Web Matrix. That's a good name for it. Is that still running? Running. How do I look at the log? I click on that bit. Yeah, there we go. See, the other thing that I maintain, which is internal, I moved it all to Linux a while ago. So I haven't, and like the new YAML format and stuff. So I haven't looked at this one for a while. So this is what I was talking about with regards to like monitoring builds and like seeing the different stages. So if it fails at restore, I'll know instantly rather than like one task or a script task, which I know people do. They'll add one task to the pipeline script, and that will be their build script, which I understand because you might want to use that locally for building as well. But then it's harder to diagnose quickly what's going on. All right. So it's installing the .NET Core 2.1 runtime because, as it says here, it's required for the Razor compiler. I'm glad I actually documented that. I don't know if that's still true. Maybe it's still true. I don't know. We'll see. This shouldn't take long, right? I got the .NET 5 SDK. If I click on that, what does it say? Yep, got 50100. Good. It's doing a restore. This will probably take forever. Gee, that's a very noisy restore log, isn't it? Interesting. Come on. I'm assuming this is going to take the longest part just because it's restoring a bunch of packages, and that usually takes a while. And the agent, it won't have these in their cache or anything. Installing. So exciting. This is really, I should have Stream Beats playing, shouldn't I? See if I can add Stream Beats back. Or you can ask a question and I'll answer it. Yeah, Nick, that's not normal verbosity, is it? It's not. I don't really understand. Let's have a look here. Let's add an existing source. We'll turn that down. Let's see if Stream Beats works on here. Sweet. It's quiet. Turn it up. I don't know if y'all can hear that. I can hear it. Okay, Tim, I don't know if you're still watching. Why am I seeing so many logs during restore? This is crazy. I don't need to see all these logs during a CI restore. Oh, okay, restore worked. Minute 49 is not bad, I guess. I mean, if I did it locally, it would probably be a lot quicker. Build. Come on, build. Oh, I got DLL. That's good. My music is a bit intense. You want me to turn it down? Thanks, Imo. I need you for my sound design. The volume that you're hearing it at is obviously completely independent of the volume I'm hearing it at. So there we go. Perfect. Pack, pub. Oh, nothing's failed. This is all too good to be true. All right, so it's pushing it to my packages feed, which is the artifacts feed here. This, if anything's going to fail, I would assume it would be this because, okay. There you go. Apparently, it worked. So, okay. So I need to turn the music up when we're looking at very verbose logs. Maybe I could write an OBS plugin that figures that out. All right. Did that finish then, or is it still finalizing? It's done. All right, let's go to our artifacts. And again, I know this is a fairly old flow. I don't think this is how people do it anymore. What is my favorite coding music? Yeah, frankly, okay, this is a really sad answer. I just don't do enough coding anymore to have favorite music. When I do, it's really varied. Sometimes I want nothing because if I'm certain problems, I don't know, I'll get to a point where I just don't want anything. Otherwise, I'm just kind of whatever I want. Sometimes I'll listen to like Australian alternative rock from the days that I grew up. So like early 90s or mid 90s to late 90s alternative rock from Australia or Nirvana. You know, I'm big sort of Seattle grunge fan from back then as well. So I'll play a bunch of that. But I also like a bunch of pop and I like some mainstream jazz stuff. I like some classical. So I'll play Yo-Yo Ma. I love Yo-Yo Ma. What else? I don't know. I could show you my Spotify. Look, see, here I am. These are all my friends, whatever they're playing. But I don't know. Where's my history? I don't even know. How do I show you what I was been playing? No idea. Oh, recently played. It's right there. What have I been playing? Pitch Perfect, Spiderbait. I rediscovered Spiderbait recently. Oh, it was so good. You can see I played a bit of that. Love a bit of Foo Fighters. Again, yeah, more of this stuff. Oh, I love Everything But the Girl, Tracy Thorn, big fans. Skunk Hour, another Australian sort of funk band that haven't done a lot of stuff, but they're really good, funk and rap. Yeah, anyway, so that's a bit of a segue, bit of a total something else. All right, we have a version. How are there? I was going to say, how are there 14 downloads of that version? I don't think that's talking about that version. All right, just download it. I'm going to manually inspect it first rather than consume it. So I'm going to open this with the, what do you call it? The wonderful NuGet Package Explorer. Oh, Claire, you're killing me. I don't have any of this stuff. Maybe I might have to have Claire on a call at some point and we'll do a stream and she can help me fix all this stuff. I don't know what any of this stuff means. I know what SourceLink means. I haven't bothered setting up SourceLink. I really should. That's probably in my issue list as well. Is SourceLink in here? It is not. Oh, wow. Okay, well, let's add an issue. Add support for source debugging using SourceLink. Is it SourceLink with a space? Nope. All right. Do it. So I need to do that. All right. But let's look at whether it'll work. All right, so I've got my output 461, 2.1, and 3.1 now instead of 3.0. What have we got? Dependencies, markdig, that all looks correct. It all seemed to carry over just fine. So if I was really brave, I would just push this to NuGet right now. So the other thing is that if I double click on here, so see this? Remember I said that when you pass the git commit in to the .NET publish command via that argument, you get it embedded. So there it is. There's the git commit embedded in the assembly information version automatically. I just have to pass it in from my build. And then the versions that I supplied through the version prefix and version suffix properties are also being used there. So I've got 060, which is just hard-coded in my project file, which is kind of how I like it. I need to increment those ones manually. Pre, which I've got in my suffixes, and then I've got the build number. It gets added when you supply it. Obviously, when I cut a 1.0 IMO, when we do that, I'll have to change the project file to cater for that. Like I'll have to put a new condition in there, maybe something like is pre-release or some garbage. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right. It looks fine. I mean, I guess I really should try and use it first, right? That means I have to set up like, I have to do this garbage. All right. Yeah, so I don't need, yeah, you're right. Nick, it was just the sample site. So I have the sample site run 5.0, obviously, so I can run 5.0 and I can test it. But the package doesn't need it. There's no, I confirmed that there's no benefit in my case. The output of the project, the output of the app that consumes it was identical, whether it was targeting 5.0 or not. If I targeted 3.1, I should say, in the app or 5.0 in the app, the output was the same. So there was no mechanical constructing differences between the TFMs. So that was fine. And there's no APIs that I want in 5 to target. So there's just no need for me to target 5 whatsoever in the package itself. It would, if I was running tests, like actual tests, not just the site, then obviously running under 5 would be worthwhile. Yeah, and then as Nick says, the main benefit of adding Net50 to your package is so people don't say, hey, have you got a version that targets .NET 5? Don't need to. It just works in my case. It won't always work. But you saw me, if you watched this at the beginning, me go through how I figured that out. All right. How do I do this? I click this one. Do I have to add like a NuGet credential manager thing to do this? Let's have a look. So that's a good question by David. Maybe there'd be a benefit to updating nullability annotations. By updating, you mean adding, because I have never done that. Let's log an issue. I've never done it. I've actually never even used the feature. Add, use nullability annotations to get the goodness. of compile time null checking. I have no idea what that's going to involve. I mean, I have a very moderate idea. I've never actually done it. But yeah, well, maybe I haven't done it yet. But maybe that would be a benefit to going to 5, because as I understand it, there were new things in 5 if you're using nullability annotations. All right, what do I do? On the tools, go to options, blah, 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 select the green plus in the upper right and do this stuff. All right, let's do that. Copy that. I'm going to go to NuGet package manager sources. I'm just doing this so I can check my package. That sounds bad, doesn't it? I'm just doing this so I can download the package from the artifacts feed. Here. Package sources. Oh, no, that's scope. That was the wrong thing. Oh, wow. Okay, there it goes. Add. We'll give it that name. Tag helper pack CI at local. Why is it at local? What does that mean? I mean, is that just a name? I mean, I'm assuming it is, but like, what does the at local thing mean? What is that for? Tag helper pack CI at local. Maybe it's because it's a local package feed. Is it a name? I have no idea what that means. All right, update. Okay. Hit OK. All right. I'm not going to do it in here. I'm going to create a new. Well, I have a project, right? Where's the project I created before? Was it that one? Sure. It's not required. All right. It's at local because that's where you are. Click the back button on the web page. I always miss hitting the update button the first time. Yeah, I know, right? It's at local because that's where you are. What do you mean, Brad? What do you mean that's where I am? If I hit back, what do you mean? Is that the name of my... Oh, okay. Interesting. Is that the name of the feed? Oh, what is that? Interesting. Okay. Never seen that. And I got nothing. Oh, all right. So then you can promote a version from here. Okay. Got it. It segments the feed. Clear it. Okay. Well, I guess it doesn't matter in this case. Oh, you can clear it in here? Is that what you mean? Aha. Got it. Now I'm looking at everything. Thank you, Brad. Thank you very much. Brad, did you used to work on that team? Is that why you know how that works? Nope. Okay. All right. So let's see if we can get that version now. What version was it? I could just put a star in there, but what do I do? Do I click on that? Where's the version? There it is. Ah. Okay. So there's my version. Now, if I hit save, this should just restore because, you know, VS Magic. Restoring packages. Finished. I don't see an error. Dependencies, packages, there it is. So it downloaded the right package. Everything looks fine. Build. Building, still building. That's what? Okay, built. Rerun my site that I created as if I was a user. And look, it's all working. All right, so I can consume the package that the CI build spat out. And so at this point, I'm ready to promote this to NuGet. And I have no recollection of how I did that. I think there's a button here somewhere of how to do that. Let's have a look. So if I go, it's a promote button. I get the sense. Maybe I didn't do it this way. How did I do this in the past? Does NuGet tell me? If I sign in, will it tell me like what happened in the past? No, I don't want to switch profiles. I want to sign in with that. Oh, I'm already signed in. Okay. Did I? Oh, maybe I did set up a release pipeline. Thanks, Imo. I have no idea. I have one for the sample site. Oh, look. Oh, Lord, it's been so long. It's been so long. Tag helper pack to NuGet. All right. Well, it looks like I've already released the sample site. because that happened automatically. So in theory, if I go back to taghelperpack.net, this text will change, or it'll fail because it's rerun and I haven't checked it. Yeah, it's failed. All right, so that's probably going to require me to go to, let's fix this first. All right, let's go in here. This is the app service plan, and I'm going to guess it's in config. $25, my API has expired. General settings. Yeah, that doesn't look right. That one, thank you. Do I have to do the pre-release thing? Wait, do I publish it self-contained? Because that's what I do with all my other stuff. Where's the pipeline? Let me just check. I don't remember. Publish net5. Framework. It's not self-contained. It's portable. Okay, well. Netcore. I have a sense that I need to do something else. All right. I'm surprised. I wonder why it still said... Again, this site, this stack thing is newish in app service. It didn't exist when I first built this site. Oh, there it is. There it is. Thank you. Got it. I knew it was something tricky. They're fixing that. It's coming. It's coming in the next deployment. This is why I do self-contained on all my other sites. I just publish self-contained. I run on app service for Linux now and everything else, and it just always works. I don't have to worry about this stuff. All right, and I'm gonna move this one over to app service for Linux at some point. I'm gonna do that. All right, is that rebooted my site for me? Should be enough, right? I got the spinning wheel of patience, so I'm gonna assume it's gonna reboot, and in less than 20 seconds, let's turn up the music. Not particularly waitful music, is it? Maybe I need to select a bigger plan. Seems to take a while to boot. Ah! We can turn the music back down. All right. And look at this. Oh, what? Oh, what? I broke my CSS. What did I do? John, what did I do? Oh, I've got errors. See? This is my natural instinct as a web person and an old jQuery person. I always check the client log first. Failed to load with a 503 from the CSS. What? Okay. Okay. Why is my CSS trying to be served with a with a MIME type of text HTML? That's a new one. That will do it. And Chrome is refusing. Edge is refusing. Why is it so slow? I have to put some Cloudflare in front of this at some point too. Actually, Cloudflare is in front of this, I think. Why is this so slow? All right, that is not good. Oh. Okay, I'm going to assume that came from a plugin and not from my site. Oh, look, it's working now. Sometimes to be a web developer, you just have to be patient. I'll type away and it works. Okay, other people saying they've seen this. Okay, whatever. The site works. Let's go. Let's try it as in private person. Very private person. Boom. Quick. It was fast. And it works. .NET 5. Everything appears to be working. Log in as a standard user. Where is it? Sweet. Okay. Site is up to date. Right. That was the one thing. Right. So the site's working. NuGet. Imo is the one who figured out how I publish this to NuGet. I have a release pipeline that pushes the package to NuGet. So I guess I say create release. I literally have not done this in like a very long time. I'm just clicking the boxes. This is all pretty intuitive, actually. I don't know if the latest versions are like this. All right. Boom. Yeah, whatever. Create. And this is where Immo is going to earn $25 if anyone took him up on that bet. Right? Immo? I guess I should put the music up again. I said, John, that we will do a 1.0 release when I add Immo's feature request. We'll do that in the next stream. It says not deployed. Did I do the right thing? You're all terrible. Is this library abandoned? Why is it not doing anything? Wait. Oh, I have to hit the deploy button? Someone said, did you hit the button? I have to hit a button? Really? Okay. Oh, man. This has been a while. Is there a better way to do this now? Okay. Is there, like, how should I do this, Brad? What's the better way to do this now? I'm assuming, like, when I move to GitHub Actions, I'll do something else. Yeah, all right, but... Okay. And then GitHub Actions has its own artifacts stuff, and, you know, it'll go into there, and I can... And there's no UI. That's fine. Oh, holy smokes. Hey, look at that. My API key has expired. All right. Everyone gets to see my API key. Can I just... I have to paste it in, right? How does this work? Okay. Okay. Let's have a look. Push to NuGet. Okay. Nope. Yes. It's probably a secret. Variable? So if it's a credential, won't it be in the same place that my Git credentials were? Nope. That's the wrong security. Nope. What's that do? Aha, nope, that's the wrong one. So that's access tokens to this, is my guess, not to other things. Go to tasks. All right, thanks, Brad. Tasks. Task groups? I don't see tasks. Nope. Are you going to tell me I can create a task that refreshes this for me? No, back. Okay. Oh, sorry, my bad. NuGet push. Aha! Got it. Okay. Manage? There we go. There we go. We got there. Wait, no. Like, it just says using API key, and it says, oh, edit. There it is. Hidden up there. Right. Right. Okay, got it. All right, let's get a new key. Oh, that's not it. Where's NuGet? There it is. API keys. All right, so I'll move this to another monitor. All right, how do I do this? Manage. It says it's expired. Tag helper pack Azure releases. I actually created a key specifically for this project. I will regenerate it. Okay. Make sure you copy using the copy button. All right, it's copied. So now I can come back here. You know, it actually never shows them on the screen. I could just leave it here. I'm not seeing them anywhere. Like it just, like, see? Regenerated it. Copy. That's pretty cool. Paste. Color me impressed. Save. No. No. Okay. I think that's it. I don't know why it added so many tabs when I did all that. All right. So I guess I just run it again. Deploy. Go. Music. theme? What theme do you want me to change? Oh. You know, I didn't even think of that. I got everything else in dark theme. Look at that. You are welcome. Oh, it's so much nicer. Thank you, Imo. All right. Apparently, it pushed. Oh. God damn it. Ah. Don't break the web. Back button. Boom. There it is. With no... Oh, down. Oh, validating. All right. And then we go back to this app. What version is it? It's the same. I mean, I've already restored it now, so... Oh, we can test it. Look, I'm going to be super anal. Let's test it. All right. So let's go to my NuGet folder. And I'll do it in Windows Explorer because I am a chump. NuGet. Packages. Tag helper pack. It is no longer restored. Gone. Let's clean because it thinks it's restored. Failed. See? Okay. NuGet fails if you try and clean after having restored because it tries to perform a clean based on what it has in the... Alright. Can I just restore? Will that fix it? Or do I have to go and tidy up the temp files manually? Tim? We should fix this. Yeah, get clean. I mean, this isn't in source control Imo. This is a rando project I created to test this as a consumer. Alright, says it restored. Did it build? Turn my music down again. I left it up. Alright, it built. So this package was restored from NuGet and it worked. Apparently. Wonderful. Well, I think we're done. Yeah, well, Rimraf works as well. Probably a little too well. I think that's it for today. I think we got it all. I think we did it. I think we updated for .NET 5. Where's my site? There it is. What issues have I got? What are we going to do next time? Next time we're going to do Imo's new feature. We're going to do this. Oh, nice. Stuart says, I use a .NET tool, remove bin -obj. So there must be a NuGet package with that tool in it. That's pretty good. Oh, look. Add support for .NET 5 previews. Done. Boom. What else? Moves to now. Need to do those at some point. Need to do that for Imo. Need to do that. At least that for Claire. I need to do all the other stuff as well. And I want to learn how to use nullability. Yes, we did get my build. When is GitHub going to give us a dark mode? I believe they're working on it, right? I thought I saw something about that. That would be nice. But yeah, you're right. That would be nice. It was nice that I got my ASDO in dark. And look at all these other feature requests. Yeah, now I'm back to doing a little bit of coding on this. Maybe we can churn through a bit of these. All right, folks. I think I'm going to call it a day. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, let me know. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I guess I should just go back to the camera now. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Might have a little bit of more time between now and the new year. Things are winding down a bit. And I've got a couple of big things I finished last week. So I'm going to try and at least get a few hours in every week to work on this. And I got some new features of .NET itself that I really haven't had a chance to use in 5. Or before, like nullability I haven't used yet. So I want to use that. I'm going to use this project as the thing I do it with. I haven't used GitHub Actions yet. I'd like to learn how to do that. So we'll use that to do this. There's probably other stuff. But most importantly, we're going to make Imo happy by building that tag helper that we said we would. So yeah, subscribe and I'll let you know. Maybe I'll even set up a regular time. I'm not very good at regular times. I'm much more an ad hoc kind of person. But yeah, maybe I can be forced. We'll figure it out. But anyway, until next time, thanks everyone.